So
it's so fast.
We need that. We need
a nice little woohoo.
Little energy there, a little energy pump. So this is our bacon bit on Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Dead Men Tell No Tales. And that was half the time taken up by me saying that.
Yes. So the first little bit. Oh, by the way, I'm Joel.
I'm Kent.
And Jacob.
Jacob's here.
Hey, Jake.
We're going to spend the first little bit talking about the movie in general terms, meaning even if you haven't seen it, you can still listen to that part of it. Then we will enter spoiler territory, and we will give a clear delineation of when we enter into spoiler territory, so you don't have to worry about being spoiled.
Isn't it kind of weird that we have the 5th Pirates movie this year and also the 5th Transformers movies? Basically series that people have forgotten about, and we're getting number 5 for each.
We also got Avatar Land.
Relevance.
So yes, let's just jump into it.
So you and Kent saw the movie.
Kent and I saw the movie. Jacob did not.
I did not.
Jacob was busy doing responsible
I dodged
things.
that.
He was invited.
He was invited.
In fact, we thought about inviting you, the listeners.
Don't tell them that. But it was really last minute. I thought it's not going to work out.
Yeah, it really happened. On the messenger, I was like, no, guys, I can't make it. And they're like, should we just invite some listener? And Joel's like, what? And give them 30 minutes to get ready and get to the theater?
And then I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't really trust.
But
who may
anyway.
respond.
And then we'll just to start off a little bit about the experience. Kent and I get into the movie theater. We sit down. We're enjoying ourselves.
Do we have any history at this theater? Or are you getting there?
Well, yes. We can get into that because this is the Floor Popcorn Theater where they started the movie. And we were watching Thor: The Dark World.
We were intending to watch Thor: The Dark World.
And the movie starts playing, and it was actually the first Thor movie.
But nobody noticed.
No one noticed until about 5 minutes in. Then we're like, wait a minute. And then the movie stopped. And they were like, oh, we don't have the key for the movie. So hold on. And then we waited 12 hours to finally see the movie. And that's when
Joel got so hungry.
At that point, the sun had come up and Joel had fell asleep on Kent's arm. It was all quite
No, they gave us all free movie passes too, which I was like, that's kind of funny considering this was a free movie screening. But
yeah,
anyway.
I really appreciated it.
I did too. So we're at this theater that has this reputation. And then we're sitting there in the movie watching it in 3D. And the movie begins and it's like, it shows the Disney castle. But the Disney castle is blurry, the stars are all blurry.
Vision.
It was separated.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I realized...
You mean 3D without glasses? Or
Yes, but then you take off the glasses and it was still blurry.
so you were wearing glasses?
Yes, so we were flipping them on and off. And then we're all kind of watching the movie and you look, I was like, maybe it's just where I'm sitting, maybe it's my glasses. And I look around and everyone in the theater is doing the same thing, taking off their glasses, trying it, and it's just the 3D's messed up. And the movie got in 5 minutes into the movie.
And it's a pretty big intro, I'll say that.
Yeah.
You're like, what in the world is going on? But you couldn't really tell.
And it was weird how just that little bit of blur made it hard to see anything. I was like, I have no idea what's going on right now. And then one guy yelled in the back, it's still blurry. And people were getting up and walking down and talking to the people. And then they fixed it. All of a sudden it kind of went black and then it came back on and the 3D was working. Everyone cheered. Then the movie turned off. And they're like, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to restart that movie so you can get the best of the experience. And then we had to watch that whole 5-minute intro again.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But at least we got to watch the movie right after and not 2.5 hours later.
That's true.
That's not so bad.
Yeah.
All right, so
let's
first,
get into it.
I'd like to know what happened with Pirates of the Caribbean after the first one.
Okay.
So, where are we at? Let's catch up.
Okay, so after the first one, if I may.
Yes, you recap first. I'll go second, third, fourth. Okay.
Okay. So
first,
I'm doing the first one?
Yeah, you can do the first one. That's fine.
Jack Sparrow joins forces with a young...
Will Turner.
Yeah, young Will Turner, who's just a riffraff street rat. He doesn't buy that. Elizabeth Swann, who is Keira Knightley, and they go on an adventure, and they
back
had...
in 2003 or
back
something.
in 2000, but they was in the past, Jake. These are pirates. This wasn't in 2003.
Oh, right.
Well, let's be quick about these recaps. We're talking about Dead Men Tell No
Especially the
Tales.
first one, which everyone does know.
Right. There's pirates. There's undead pirates.
Undead pirates, Barboza, they try and find the gold.
Yes.
Aztec gold.
All right, Pirates 2.
Pirates 2, Davy Jones. And he has...
Squidman.
Yeah, he actually a pretty good character. And so they have Davy Jones.
And 2's the one that ends abruptly, right?
It ends abruptly because they were leading directly into 3.
Release the Kraken.
They released the Kraken.
In number 3, Johnny Depp is dead, and he's
swallowed by the
strange
Kraken.
Hallucinations, and there are many Johnny Depps and
I remember
crabs.
that.
There's a giant gypsy at one point.
Yep.
And then there's a big storm, and it ends with Will Turner becoming the new Davy Jones,
Yes.
the new captain of the Flying Dutchman,
Yeah.
cursed forever.
And then we get Pirates of the Caribbean, Stranger Tides.
Yeah, on Stranger Tides.
And no one really remembers anything about that movie except for the fact that there are mermaids that kind of jump out of the water and are kind of freaky.
No, is Will Turner in that and Keira Knightley?
No.
They're not even in that
They
one.
cast a new white guy to play Will Turner-esque type
A new
character.
effeminate white guy, yes.
Right, and then he was a missionary, and he was seduced by mermaids and taken into the water.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that was the one where they're looking for the Fountain of the Youth with Blackbeard and, what's her name?
Racist. Penelope Cruz.
That's it. And so that one was kind of a side story.
It was a standalone movie, but it's just not memorable whatsoever.
Right. But it's good because you mentioned that, because getting into Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, right at the very beginning, you realize this is tying into the original story. So I won't get into what it is, but this is kind of, going into that. So I'll give my review, if you don't mind. Do you want me to go first or do you want to go second?
Go for it.
Okay. So my review is, this does a really good job of closing up the story, but it's not a good movie, and I didn't really enjoy it. And I spent a lot of the time going, wow, are they really going to try and go with that again? Or, wow, that joke really didn't land. Or, wow, this plot is really convoluted. Or, wow, that was an odd cameo. And in the end, I kind of went, I understand what they were going for, and I'm glad we got the closure. But overall, the best part about this movie is the music, which is the same music we've heard almost the entire series. And so I'm going to give this 2 stars.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's Marnie level.
No, Marnie's a 1.
Marnie's the standard for lowness.
Marnie's a 1 star.
Oh, come on.
Yes, it was.
It was not. It
Go
was
look at my
2.
review.
We're watching Marnie on the sleepover, by the way.
not.
We are,
yes,
for
we
sure.
are.
I'll fall asleep by that point. You guys can put my bra in the freezer. But
What?
sleepovers.
Yeah, I
you got
got
me.
it.
Okay,
I got it.
but no, really, but the thing is, I feel like people are still going to enjoy it because it has plenty of Jack Sparrow. He is the main character once again, and he does the same things all over again, and you kind of get what he's doing. And if you like that kind of stuff, and there's some really cool visuals, some very cool visuals, stuff that I watched going.
There should be.
That was pretty cool to watch.
Do you know what the budget is on this? You guys probably have that.
Oh, I don't have it off the top of my head, but
200 million, we're going to say.
probably.
Making things up.
But it's gonna make a lot of money. But I feel like, I don't know, it's a D. Like, it really, this wasn't a good movie. I
Is
didn't
that
enjoy
the
myself.
lowest review for a movie this year besides Moonlight?
I don't know.
I feel like it is from you.
It was 230 million.
That was the budget. Wow.
Yeah. That's a huge budget.
They've got visuals, and they've got. I mean, every time you do a C movie, it's going to cost a lot of money. I felt like
You gave it a D, so it's not a C movie anymore.
Yeah.
no, a C movie.
Is that
I
like
get it.
worse than a B movie?
But I felt
don't
like
know.
the cast just was. I wasn't feeling any of it. None of the characters appealed to me. Even Jack Sparrow was tiresome, and so I just feel like, yeah, this is. But I want to say this. So the first Pirates movie I love. That is probably a 5-star movie for me.
Yeah, compare this to
4.5,
one of the
5.
other ones.
But I didn't like really any movie after that. Davy Jones, I like him as a character, and I liked kind of where it went, but I hated that 2 ended so abruptly, and I didn't get the ending, and then I didn't like 3.
It was weird at the
4 was
end of
completely
Pirates
forgettable.
2 when they met the architect and he started saying vis-a-vis and
That's what
apropos.
it feels like.
And then all of a sudden, yeah, then they went to
Matrix
Zion.
reference.
Yeah, because it became the Matrix.
So I would put this on par with maybe the 3rd movie, because it wasn't as enjoyable as the 2nd for me, but it wasn't as forgettable as the 4th. So Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
All right, Ken.
2 stars. Jack Sparrow.
That's pretty low, Joel.
Not as low as you're going to go.
This is the second best Pirates movie.
You're going to put it above Davy Jones?
Yeah. Absolutely. This is the second best Pirates movie. I would even say.
But what's your rating? Because it's already a pretty low bar.
Well, you've got a solid point there, and thanks for ruining the punchline.
I think the punchline was hit.
But still, I'm not giving it as low as you. And I'm going to tell you why. This is a satisfying movie. If you love the first movie, maybe just watch this one.
No.
And you'll be good.
No, you can't. There are so many elements of this movie that you will not understand unless you've watched all the other movies.
And we'll get into that right after this.
Except for the 4th.
Well,
Yeah, fourth movie is totally unnecessary.
I was actually trying to figure that out if there was any element of the 4th movie that you had to know going into this one. But we can talk about that in the spoiler area.
Right. Like he said, the visuals are incredible. The way it begins is actually really, really cool. It starts this mythology where you're going, I think I'm in. And then you meet Jack Sparrow again. And they always have to do the big introduction. And we've met Jack Sparrow in every movie with a big introduction. I'm sorry,
Right.
it only worked in the first one when he is sinking
I love
on that,
that
ship.
intro. I love that intro.
And that was so simple. In the other movies, he becomes Superman. He's bouncing off palm trees. He's running away from the queen or whatever. This movie does the same thing. And you know what? This movie would have been 4 times better without the character Jack Sparrow.
Really?
Yep.
I don't know about that.
Totally.
Because I think he's the only saving grace for these movies.
Well, no, he
That's what
is the
people
franchise,
want.
sure. And that's why people are going to see it. But I was actually hoping for more of these regular characters, these human characters, if you will,
Right.
to lead me through it. And I'll tell you why after spoilers.
I will also say one more thing in the spoiler-free area. I feel like Javier Bardem was a good villain.
Yeah.
Like, I actually did feel, and this sounds weird, but I felt uncomfortable whenever he was on screen. Because
That always happens with him.
Yeah. But he looked and sounded just, it was scary. And I
Yeah.
liked that. So there you
His
go.
motivation was okay. But yeah, he was good. Jack Sparrow was bad.
So if I'm
Jack
Johnny
Sparrow,
Depp
Jack
at this
Sparrow.
point, do I just move to my island and never return?
If you're who?
Johnny Depp.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although he'll do this forever. He will be in these movies forever.
It's the only thing that's really
Because that's
going
just
well
him.
for him.
Yeah, but is it going well for him? Like, because it sounds like in Rotten Tomatoes is telling a different story, right?
Well,
The same
apparently.
story you
What's that?
guys
No,
are.
but he's making money, apparently, although he says he's broke now, too. So I don't know about that. But shall we get into the spoiler
Oh,
territory,
yeah.
gentlemen?
My grade?
Oh, yes.
C+.
You got to be kidding me.
No, actually. I've been, actually, here's the thing. I still haven't
You gotta
totally
be
decided.
kidding me.
I haven't decided between this,
Why?
a C or
Okay.
C+. plus.
If
Hold
he
on,
would have
hold
gone
on.
first,
Spoiler territory.
if he would have gone first, he would have given it a lower grade. But he's just being contrary to me.
C
I'm
plus
not.
isn't a super high grade.
Right.
It's high for Kent.
You know what? It's
That's
high.
what I gave Guardians.
It's actually par for the course for me for almost every movie this year. Kong got a C+. King Arthur got a C+, but probably deserves higher.
I get it.
Guardians of
Kent's-
the Galaxy got a C-.
Kent's broken as a critic. I get it. Okay.
Like everything right now has just been so marginal. And this is one of those movies.
All right, Joel, let's hear your Pirates theme song music as our transition.
Oh, now you're making requests on what we do during this spoiler transition. How dare dun spoilers! Spoilers!
Well done.
Thank you.
Was it me or did you feel like the humor did not land at all?
Did not land at all. I really, every joke that came up, well, I don't know. I didn't like it, but Kent was laughing a lot.
Okay, so
Kent was
Jake-
rolling. He was loving every joke that came through.
There was one joke where
All
they
right.
said, she said, you're whorish?
Yeah.
What was it meant to
she's
be?
not horticulturist. It's horror, like horoscope.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. Horologist.
Horologist.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm a horologist. And they're all, oh, his mother was a horologist. And then I go, kind of like that, like, And then Joel looks at me, the most judging look I think I've ever seen him give me.
If I had glasses, they would have been pushed out of the brim of my nose and I'd be looking down at him.
At the end of the movie, and I'm sorry, I'm jumping right way to the end, which is what we always do.
That's good.
There was this moment. Okay.
I'm going to talk about the fact that every joke after that, I look over at you and like, why aren't you laughing?
Yeah, no, he really did.
This is your style of humor, apparently.
I'm going to agree with Joel here that there were so many convoluted subplots, and if there were 2 plots in this movie, I'm saying just 2. This movie would have been much better, but there were so many subplots, one involving Barbossa, to try to incorporate him into the movie at all.
Barbossa. Remind me who
Jeffrey
that is.
Rush.
He's the original pirate.
Oh,
He's a
yeah,
fan
yeah.
favorite.
Who was great in the original, and when they brought him back in the second one, I was so bugged because I thought that negates everything from the first movie.
So they bring him back for no reason, basically because Jeffrey Rush wanted to be in the movie. And he's like a double agent because that's never happened in the Pirates movies before. He's working for Salazar, who is Javier
Salazar.
Yeah, Javier Bardem.
Salazar.
And then he double crosses him, comes back. And I'm sorry, do you care if we ruin this? Because we're about to ruin this.
Spoiling it.
No, yeah, go for it.
But no, okay, no,
There's-
don't spoil it. Just spoil
Okay,
it. Okay, so Jacob, let me tell you something. So there's a female character, okay?
Kate Scodelario, and she was gorgeous.
She's beautiful. Although I couldn't tell, Kent, was she a witch or was she a woman of science? Because they didn't.
He said it every scene she was in. She's a witch.
Every scene, they're like, oh, she's a witch. No, I'm a woman of science. See, let me show you these sciencey things. She's a witch. Like they were trying so hard.
She's the new Elizabeth Swan, basically.
They were trying so hard,
but a very powerful character.
to make her into this strong, independent woman. Which I'm all for strong, independent woman characters, but they did not. It did not work with her. Like they were forced. They
I
were
liked her.
such-
Because she's not strong.
I
or
liked her in the
independent.
movie.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I found her utterly annoying. The whole time she's just that smug. Me. And I was like, I do not like this
he
character.
hates women of science.
That's not true.
That's basically what I took
But
away
no,
from
the very first scene, she's like, oh, let me show you this. And he's like, oh, you're a witch. No, I'm a woman of science. The very next scene. Your telescope is off. Oh, you're a witch. No, I'm a woman of science.
So basically, it's Johnny Depp in the.
Anyway, so I'm getting digressed here. But
I can't think of the name of the movie. The Tim Burton movie. The
Dark Shadows?
Lost my head guy.
Oh, Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow. Thank
Kind
you.
of.
Gosh darn it.
Kind of. So Jacob, okay. I just want
All right, I'm
to.
ready.
I want you to use your analytical brain here.
Ready.
So there's this female character, and she doesn't know her father, doesn't know her mother. She was an orphan, but her father left her a book, and this book
About horology.
had a ruby on it, and it talked about the stars and the maps and stuff like that. So she thought this was her father's way of helping her find her way back to him.
Because she was left at an orphanage.
Yes.
All right.
So
where are we
now,
going with this?
Who's her dad?
Joffrey Rush.
Very good.
It could have easily been Johnny Depp.
No, it couldn't have been.
Here's the thing. There was one moment right at the very end where he saves her life, right? By sacrificing himself. I'm just putting that out there. By the way, he's not dead. So
In a slow motion, arms spread out.
She sees a constellation tattoo on his forearm, and she goes, and then all of a sudden he slow motion plunges into the bad guy.
Well, it's not even that. So pirates wear a lot of layers of clothing. And in this one instant, he happened to be wearing just a shirt.
Yeah.
And she happened to grab his arm in just a way as she's falling off of this
So she
anchor.
realized it was the constellation that matched the book, the front of the book. And then she goes, and then Joel says, he does this. Well, I'll see you later. There's like 10 more minutes left in the movie. And this dude is leaving.
It was so annoying.
Dude, you sound pissed.
He was not happy.
Well, I was just so annoyed by a lot of it. And, can I also just say, why was Paul McCartney in this movie?
And this was still better than Marnie?
Do you know why Paul
Yes.
McCartney was in this movie? Because Keith Richards was in the last one.
Which, that made sense-ish.
It made sense because Johnny Depp based Jack Sparrow off the
he said, I
character.
based my character on Keith Richards. Oh, it's Jack's dad. Haha. And then...
No, they'll do the
this
same
one-
thing every movie. Neil Young will be in the next movie.
Let me paint the scene for you, Jacob.
All right, I'm ready.
He's walking down the hallway about to go get executed, which, by the way, if I had a nickel for every time a character was saved by rope in this movie, I would be a millionaire. I mean, the franchise in general, every single rope is attached to something that will pull someone away from danger. Every single rope.
Here's my favorite part is the kid is trying to save the two of them, and he swings the rope through the town, and this rope is coming from the middle of the freaking sky.
Yeah.
Like there's no way
There's
he's swinging
no
on this
way.
from any building at all.
No.
It was actually kind of funny.
So this is a pretty good, like, on his movie trailer bit, like, also starring Rope.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. But then, okay, so he's walking to the gallows to be hung or to be executed, and all of a sudden you hear someone singing Maggie May in a jail cell.
Maggie May, really?
Yeah. And it's like, I was like, why are they singing Maggie May? And then all of a sudden he turns around and it's Paul McCartney. And he's like, oh, it's my uncle. And he's like, oh, hello, how are you doing? And they have this whole conveation about
That's
nothing
embarrassing.
for any other reason than to have a Paul McCartney cameo.
Wait, isn't Maggie May Rod Stewart?
Well, I think Rod Stewart has a version, but I think also the Beatles have a version.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm going to look that up.
Why couldn't he sing Blackbird? Wouldn't that have made more sense?
Oh, yes. Can we get into that too?
Joel
okay?
is so mad.
No, I'm actually just sitting back and watching this. I'm loving this.
Because-
Hashtag Angry Joel.
No, because you know what I love about movies? You know what I really wanted to know?
Jacob, wish you were there. He was so mad. It was like you could see it. You could feel it.
No, what I really want in a movie, first of all, I love when musicians have cameos. Love it. Yeah, the Beatles have a version too.
I hear Kanye's in the sixth one, right?
Yes, probably. But also, you know what I love is when I really needed to know how Jack Sparrow got his origin and how he got his name and how he got the things that he put in his hair. And I really needed to know Joffrey Rush's backstory too, Captain Barbossa. I really needed to know these things in order to appreciate the movie. And also, I love...
They can't see you shaking your head, Joel.
I know.
I think they can tell by the "I really love" line.
But the fact that I feel like every movie's like, hey, we can make people look sort of youngish. We should do that with every movie.
Oh yeah, so you know how they're doing it with Marvel. So they did it with Michael Douglas in Ant-Man. They did it again with the most
Patrick
recent.
Stewart?
No, the most recent Disney movie.
Tron.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell in Guardians of the
They
Galaxy.
did a good job on that, too.
He looked like Farrah Fawcett to me.
Really?
I thought Michael Douglas
That's what he looked
fantastic.
like in the 70s.
No, I could still see computer on Michael Douglas, but man, with Kurt Russell, I was like, man, that's seamless to me.
So this one they do a really thin, really young Johnny Depp.
Right.
And it's spotty.
It is spotty, which is weird because they had a $230 million budget. But okay, so where was I? What was I ranting on before I got sidetracked by my
Is it
sidetrack?
when he...
It's hard to know.
They give the origin for why Salazar, Javier Bardem, hates him so much. And it is the most ridiculous sort of revenge story ever.
It's
basically
really simple.
They go into a cave and die.
He causes them to crash.
And then that's it. Then they become ghosts and they want to haunt him. And if he loses a compass, then they can haunt him.
Yep.
So is there going to be a sixth?
Well,
Here's the thing, though. They close it off.
They do. They close it off, but they leave a little crack in the door because, and here's
Kraken?
once again a spoiler. Right at the beginning, like, not Owen Wilson. Crap, what's his name?
You sure it wasn't Owen Wilson?
Wow. We're pirates.
Orlando
now.
Bloom. There he is.
That's way different.
Orlando Bloom's right in the beginning, like in the first 5 minutes. He's there, and his son is trying to find him. And he's like, "No, the curse is here. No, I'm cursed forever. You can never lift this curse. Go away, son." And then you spend the whole movie. The son's trying to break the curse, and they have the trident of Poseidon.
How many plots are there in this thing?
Is it the trident?
I love
it.
Oh, actually, his son is the main plot line. His son is
is
trying to find the trident of Poseidon to break all curses.
No.
In the ocean.
So first of all, the trident is there to be like, it will give you power over the sea to do with whatever you want.
you cannot. No one can find the trident.
And no man can read it. But I'm a woman of science.
I am no man.
I am no man. Which that line was done great in Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
that was a great moment. Here it just felt forced. Anyway, so then
you really feel, Joel?
Then they find the trident.
So good.
They find the trident, and then all of a sudden they make up another power, and it's like, oh, by the way, if you break the trident, all curses that have ever been made on the sea are now broken.
That was the best. Wait,
Deus Ex Machina.
all curses are in the trident. And I'm like, how do you know that?
Yeah,
let's break it.
Where did this come from?
Okay,
let's break it because basically it says you need to divide it, which whatever.
But
so then
look,
they break the trident.
Joel,
all curses are broken. Which I want to bring this up just because it was a plot hole to me. The reason Will Turner became the captain of the Flying Dutchman is because he was stabbed and he was dying. The reason that Barboza was dead too. I don't know how he got back, but
the gypsy.
When they broke the curse, I was like, why is Barboza still alive? Why is Will Turner not dead? Like, it just made no sense.
No one dies.
And then at the very end, you do, spoiler alert again, you get to see Keira Knightley. And
great closure.
It was actually good. That
Husband
was good.
and wife are back together again because
Yes.
they got married on the ship in the third movie for some reason.
They did?
Yes, they did. And
because they had a kid, and the kid is the main character of the movie next to Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
How old is the kid?
He's about 19.
Yeah, because Orlando Bloom can only, as the captain of the Flying Dutchman, this is another made up rule. They just kind of made
their
up mid-movie.
mythology, Joel.
I know, but they seem to be making up rules
No,
midway through.
They did so many shortcuts that they don't explain anything, which I actually hate in movies. This one I said, whatever, you do your stupid thing. It was really stupid.
But so he can only come on land once every 10 years. And so, but
and you know what he's doing.
Well, that's how they got the boy.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that.
Yes. So there you go.
That's friendly, Joel.
But then at the end, and then if you stay all the way to the end of the credits, you get to see Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann lying in bed together, sleeping peacefully. And then Will has a nightmare about Davy Jones coming back, which, by the way, once again, if all curses are broken, he should be gone, which I thought. Then he wakes up and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not real. And then, Jacob, it pans down to the bottom of the bed.
Oh, no.
And what's on the floor?
Barnacles.
What's barnacles?
They're razor sharp. Scrape your back. Huh? As in the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
They form on boats. And it's all over Davy Jones and his crew.
Oh.
So then it's like, oh, there might still be some stuff later.
There has to be. With the way they ended this, they almost ended the entire series by saying there's no magic on the water anymore. There's curses are destroyed.
I'll be your magic on the water.
And it just has to keep going because this movie will make money. Less money, I believe. But this movie will make money and they'll make another one.
Yeah.
230 million. They're going to have to really do well.
They do, though. This whole franchise.
Overseas.
Let me see if I can find this real quick. Can't say something interesting.
Honestly, I'm suspicious.
About?
I mean, it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of momentum behind this movie right now.
You know, you're right. And it kind of came out of nowhere. But the fact that casts keep coming, that Jeffrey Rush signs back on, Johnny Depp, who's still somehow a star. The fact that we have...
Is he, though?
Yeah, he is.
Is he, though?
Well, you know, and they put a lot of money into it.
He's had like 6 flops in a row.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then no one really cares if he's in the Harry Potter movie.
Plus the personal life thing
yeah.
is like all sorts of bad.
So worldwide... Oh, wow. That's kind of interesting. Huh. Worldwide, it's made $3.7 billion, this franchise.
Over 4 movies.
Over 4 movies. But listen to this. This is the interesting part to me. So Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, $654 million. The next one goes higher with 963. The next one goes higher with 1.1 billion. 1045 billion. And Dead Man's Chest, how can that be right? Is it already out?
The Man's Chest, the 4th one?
That was the second one.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay, that one's the highest one with 1066. So they don't go higher and higher and higher.
I do not know what's happening now.
Basically, the first one was the least profitable. is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that's normally how it
Worldwide.
goes.
I'm going to tell you why this one is the second best movie. Not by a large margin.
Second best
but
movie ever, Kent?
Second best.
You were
but
laughing.
Second best
You were
film years.
laughing a lot at it.
Because it's hilarious. There was one joke in there where they talk about horticulture or something like that.
Oh, remember that?
Hilarious.
Remember that part when when the girl's getting hung and the Will Turner's son grabs her, and then they spend like they couldn't decide which joke they wanted to make about where he was holding her, so they made all 6 jokes. It's like, you're holding my bow. No, you're holding my stern. Ha ha ha. Oof.
He really hates this.
Not as much as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Out of Shadows.
The first movie,
Independence Day.
Not as much as that.
right? The first movie, great movie. We can all agree.
Great movie.
Second movie could have been really, really good had the third movie done well. I mean, like actually been a solid movie.
Yeah,
Are you
because it was
explaining why this is the
continuation.
second
Yes,
best? Okay.
but it wasn't a standalone story, and
Right.
so it became unwatchable almost because then you have to watch the third movie, which
Yes.
is terrible.
Yes.
The fourth movie is a standalone movie, but nobody remembers it. It is
No.
just there. This movie, and I'm going to say this, is a standalone movie because they begin it by teasing what's happened before, and they end it by closing off the series and the movie itself.
I actually,
Okay.
So you appreciate them.
I actually
giving closure.
appreciate this is a standalone
So
movie.
they've learned
I,
from the
I
second
disagree.
one.
I disagree.
Sure.
with
Oh,
that.
of course you do.
No, but it's only because I was actually thinking to myself, like a couple minutes in the movie, I thought, could someone watch this just without knowing anything about previous pirate movies? And you really can't, because I mean, there's the compass and the curses and Will Turner and
They explain all of that.
Not as good, I don't think.
Well, sure, the writing wasn't great, but they still said, he said, I need to find Jack Sparrow. Bum, ba, ba, ba. Big introduction for Jack Sparrow riding through town. Okay, and if you've never seen a Pirates movie, you go, that's kind of funny because I've never seen that before. We've seen it 4 times. Okay? This is a standalone movie. The comedy doesn't quite work, but you know what? There's some amazing stuff to see. The pirates, yes, they're undead again,
Yes.
but it's still very cool.
But they look cool.
They look
and
cool.
Their ship is cool.
And
like
it's another
the
MacGuffin
sea
journey,
parting.
and so it's honestly just fine. It's marginal. Like you know what? Maybe you've talked me into a C, but I wouldn't go any lower than a C.
The curse of the sea.
All right. Well, Kent, who is now Joel, and Joel, who is now Kent.
That's the way
Let's
it's
go
gonna
ahead and
be,
wrap
man.
this up.
Why don't we wrap this up now? I'm tired. I'll fall asleep by that point. You guys can put my bra in the freezer.